Hello, Grade 2. Today we're going to learn about fiction books. Fiction books are a creation of the author's imagination. Fiction books have characters, places, and things that are all made up by the author. Now, we have been reading some fiction books together. One of the books we read, Horace and Morris, but mostly Dolores, by James Howe, is a fiction story. Do you remember this page where it said Horace and Morris and Dolores were friends, the greatest of friends, the truest of friends, the now and forever I'm yours sort of friends? Look at what these mice are doing on this page. They're playing with puppets. They're wearing clothes. So James Howe wrote the story about mice who are best friends. But you know that mice don't talk and wear clothes. So the author imagined this to write the story. How about this book that we read, The Old Woman Who Named Things by Catherine Brown? Do you remember this page? On this page it said, then she walked into Franklin, and that was her house, got a chunk of ham from her refrigerator and came back outside. The old woman gave the ham to the hungry puppy and told it to go home. She told it that Betsy, the car, always made puppies sick, and Fred, the chair, never allowed puppies to sit on him. And Roxanne, the bed, wasn't wide enough for a puppy and an old woman to fit on. And besides all of this, Franklin, the house, couldn't tolerate dog hair. So the puppy went away. If we think about the characters and what is happening in this story, we know that the author made it up. We know that it's fiction because an old lonely woman who named things she would not outlive, like her car and her house, but she will not name the puppy. She doesn't want to outlive the puppy. This didn't happen, but the author imagined it and wrote a fiction story that could happen in real life. So in our stories, if we look at Horace, Morris, and mostly Dolores, we know the author made up the story because the mice are talking in the story, the mice are writing signs, and the mice build a clubhouse. If we look at the story, The Old Woman Who Named Things, we know the author made up the story because the woman isn't real, even though she seems real. The old woman told the puppy that the chair never allowed dogs to sit on him. But we know chairs don't really make rules like that. How about this story? Do you remember when we read A Weekend with Wendell? This is a fiction story as well. We know the author made up the story because mice are talking in the story. The mice have sleepovers. The mice own sleeping bags and suitcases. And the mice wear clothes. All things we know that mice in real life don't really do. So we know fiction books have characters, places, and things that are made up by the author.